Hey y'all, it's your boy Degenerate. Today I want to talk to y'all about bullish and bearish price structure on weekly through daily charts with Bitcoin. Wow. This is solely my opinion, and I'm looking to be as transparent as possible. This is currently the weekly chart. This is the price action from all the way back November, October, all the way back here to the left is like September. But this is overall the arching price action of Bitcoin. And it's important because we don't have a lot of volume above this current price of Bitcoin. This is the volume profile on the right. If you still are not familiar, you can activate it in TradingView by going to the volume profile, and you can either choose visible range, which is the one you're seeing. You have session volume or fixed range that you can also decide. I think it's really an important tool because it shows you points of interest. And points of interest, how I use it, is those are points that we normally will retest. That's where liquidity is. That's where stops tend to be. That's where you can get other people's money. This darker part of the chart is the main meat of this section between 3,000 and 9,400 is what is referred to as the value area. It is the largest chunk of prices traded in the visible range, obviously, is between these prices. There's not a lot of action above 12,000 at all. And because of that, finding a place to short above 12,000 or above 13,000 for that matter, that's the most current high. It's hard to get on the same page with a bunch of other parties that you don't know. So you may want to short here, and Big Pockets boy may want to short up here. Another Big Pockets boy may want to only short at 20K. 20K and 16K might be your best options if you're going to short above this break. That said, let's look more at the current week. We don't need the OBV on. This weekly, shit, it's only Wednesday now, but the closer this closes to 11K down here, obviously the more bearish price action would look. It would look something like this. We would call it a doji. Gravestone Doji. There's low volume on the previous engulfing candle. So this 3 that you see right here, there's not a lot of volume that came in for it. That kind of worries me. You normally want to see volume increase in the direction of price, but it's not so concerning because you normally see a decrease in volume when triangles and ranges start to form. People bail out to see what direction it's going, and they put their money on the side. And when they see a breakout, they put it back in. And then volume normally shows up there. From what I've seen. A bullish close for this week though. We haven't seen a close this high yet. If the week closed here, I'd be kind of upset. I wouldn't be the most ecstatic about that. But we haven't had a close above 11,475. And you can see that right there on your trading view. It shows you these closes in case you didn't know. But 11.5 or above starts to get bullish. The higher it gets to this range up here, the more bullish it is. I'll show you why. We're looking at the 3 days. We've had a 9 count. 27 days of a 9 count that didn't break this previous 9 count. Which, let's be real, that would have been hard. This is down at 5,200. If it fell to 5,200 in 27 days, not that it couldn't, but that'd be hard. But anyway, we're here. Your trend line goes right through this week's candle. Does that look good enough for you? That looks good enough for me. So this, I could call it 1250. 12. If you'd prefer to jump on at 0.5% early. A close above this would be bullish. That is your resistance. Because the triangle you're in is currently like this. And this, for real, can stretch out until September. And most of the time it breaks out 2/3 of the way through. So, June, July, August, September. I'd expect a breakout probably right around here. The end of August. If we stayed in this range. Whether it went to the downside or the upside. If this keeps forming a flat base, I'd keep calling these dead cat bounces. And I'd expect to fall lower. But a stop or a close, the higher above 12,000 If it's in today, that's extremely bullish. The next 3-day candle starts in about 11 hours. You can see that because it's down here. I expect a lot of stops to be hunted before it goes higher. Honestly, if you were following Tom DeMark's system, you would have longed this one at the flip. You would long it a second time after the 2 starts trading above the 1. But if you're entering in a trade right now and you're following a proper stop, your target's like 16,000 for a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. It's not the worst. If you really need to get into a trade and you're just itching to place a trade, this is a good target. And for me, that's bullish to know that people that are entering right now, that are following proper risk management on a longer term outlook, you're looking at 16,000. Because y'all aren't, in theory, y'all shouldn't bail out at 14 or 15 or 12.5. Maybe y'all will. But you never know. A majority of systematic traders should be aiming for up there with this risk to reward ratio. We're on a 9 count for an aggressive 13. I'm gonna try to speed this up, I'm sorry. But we don't have an aggressive 13 coming in for a minimum of like 12 days. So again, that would put us probably close to the beginning of September. And if this triangle stays like this, that's when you'd have a breakdown. I think I covered the bullish and bearish case scenario of the 3-day. So let's look at the 1-day. We're on an 8 count. God, I love having timing indicators. It's so beautiful. It's just a reminder to take profit. If you weren't already going to take profit because of this, you could take profit because of this. I'm not saying take full profit. Just be aware. You're on an 8 count today. And 9 is normally a profit day. So if this is the hard trend line, it's a slant, so it's a bit of a stretch, let's be real. But if this is where shorters are going to keep coming in at, you only have like 3 or 4% extra that you could get up here. I'd maybe take a little bit of profit depending on your position size and how much profit you've taken already. For me, I'm still in 30, maybe 25% of my long from up here. And I'm happy about it. So if if you have a close above 11,860, that's where this previous 9 up count closed. That's bullish. But the volume, like I said, it isn't here yet. You had more volume the previous day. And only halfway in, this does not look like to be a record-setting volume day. So, what's my verdict? I would take some profit. And if it breaks up, if it closes above this, I'd use some of that profit to pyramid my position size and to enter into a long with a closer stop loss. And if it breaks down, great. You took some profit. Look to re-enter into a long after a 1 to 4 period correction, somewhere where you see, a bounce. So for me, my stop for that 25% that I'm still holding in a trade is down here just right below 11,000 because of this price action here and this price action over here and this price action back in July, as well as in June. I'd expect to be this an area where lots of stops are just chilling, or where trade to be invalidated. Your other trend line that's flat is around the 9,600 area, and if it breaks below 9,100, you have 8,800, and honestly at that point I'm looking for an entry closer to 83. You could do 84, but again, you're getting ahead of yourself. With stops, though, it's always good to plan. I think it's always good to plan, so that when you're in this situation, you're not FOMOing. I believe that's all I have to talk about price action for today. Again, these are just my thoughts. I hope y'all follow your proper risk management, and I hope whatever you decide, that you are responsible and that you are profitable. But not all of you are going to be profitable, because someone has to lose money for someone else to make it. Just keep that in mind. I hope you all have a good rest of your week. Cheers, y'all.